Hi, and welcome to Female Entrepreneurs Magazine, your go-to platform for ambitious women who are ready to take the business world by storm. I'm your host, Angel France, and each week we'll dive into the latest strategies, stories, and success secrets from the most inspiring female entrepreneurs around the world. Today on The Real Female Entrepreneurs, we're meeting a woman who swapped courtrooms for classrooms and built a global movement doing it. She's a digital creator, Montessori magic maker, and founder of Montessori From the Heart, inspiring over 1 million families worldwide. And now, expanding to turn early education into a homeschool global movement. From Soviet era sandbox dreams to New York City attorney life, motherhood shifted her mission. And thank goodness it did. Now she's empowering parents, lighting up little minds, and proving that world change starts with our teeniest humans. Oh, and did we mention she's a 2025 Woman Changing the World Global Award finalist in education? Let's give a joyful welcome to the incredible Anya Garcia. Hey, how you doing? Oh my
Thank
God,
you
I
so
love
much
you.
for having me. It is such an honor. Your mission is so inspiring by amplifying our voices and by telling our stories, hoping to inspire others and say, hey, it is possible. You can have anything you want in life if you set your heart to it. So I'm so privileged to be here today.
And I love having you. And I cannot wait to deep dive in here. So, okay, a lawyer.
Yes.
Okay,
Well,
I didn't ask what type. Do you mind telling me what type of lawyer you
Well,
were?
I'll tell you how it started. So I always had a big dream of changing the world. And my heritage, I came from a teeny tiny Soviet Union country that is the size of Maryland. And when I was 6, standing in a sandbox, I declared to my friend, hey, I'm going to be an attorney and I'm going to live in New York City. And I was so specific too. And she looked at me like I was telling her that I was moving to Mars because the timing was just perfect. It was right after the Cold War era and a total patriarchy. So the chances of me becoming an attorney, which is a male-dominated profession in former Soviet Union, and immigrating right after the Cold War were so slim. But all odds, even though the odds were stacked against me, I did move to the United States, the Big Apple, studied hard, became an attorney, and fulfilled my dream, right? Or so I thought, till I held my firstborn daughter in my arms. And that was right after I passed the bar exam. And at that moment, everything shifted. I realized that devoting 70 hours to a law firm and missing her everything, her first words, her first steps, even her first tantrums, I just couldn't do it. So I did something bold. Some might even say crazy. I traded my lawyer's briefcase for finger paints and dove headfirst into homeschooling. And that's when I discovered the Montessori method that is rooted in the child, and it shifted everything. And I said, I will give 100% of myself to my child right now when she needs me most, because children are little only once. And if we do it right, once is enough. So that's how my journey started. I started documenting what we have been doing and how they were growing and meeting their potential and sharing it on social media. And that's how Montessori From the Heart was born. And little by little, other moms would come up, say, hey, how are you doing this? And how are you doing that? And that's when I started sharing my journey. And little by little say, hey, can you teach me how you did it? Or what lessons did you teach? Or how did you structure your day? How was your rhythm? What materials did you use? And little by little, it naturally evolved into this global Montessori From the Heart community where I help moms to simplify the process, to amplify their results by helping them find clarity, connection, and confidence to homeschool with ease. And that was the birth of my digital courses and my private monthly kids activities plan membership. And I am beyond excited that I can serve so many families and inspire them to homeschool during this most pivotal, transformative period of child's life, which is about 0 to 6.
Oh my God. I love that story. Just the vision that you had. How old were you when you actually had that vision in that sandbox?
I was 6.
You were 6.
Yeah, you
So
can imagine me with the little like sun hat Panama, with the little shovel, and I'm telling to my friend, I'm gonna be an attorney and I'm gonna live in New York City. She'll look at me like, oh yeah, okay, yeah.
let's just take what you do now. So what you do is you actually help moms understand those early ages. And 6-year-old is part of that early age.
Yes.
So the impact that a mom or a father, whoever's the homeschooler, parent, can actually, or both, can actually make such a huge difference in that age and empower them to have the vision of what they see in the future. You know what I mean? And I mean, you had that.
Well, I'll give you a simple example. The child becomes its environment. It's actually the only species that is not an identical copy of the parent. So if you think of a mammal or calf being born, they're an identical copy. And they're pretty functional when they're born. They can walk within a couple of minutes, hours, they can feed themselves. And if we try to mold that calf, we're going to break its genetic coding. So we cannot really change an animal. Versus a human being is born, it is completely moldable. Think like a molded glass. We can literally make that child be whatever that environment is. So for example, let's travel to India and we're going to take a newborn, a Hindu newborn, and transport him or her to the United States, to like a regular carnivorous family. So fast forward 15 years, that child's going to enjoy nice juicy steak. And let me tell you, it's probably not going to utter a single word of Hindi because the child becomes its environment. And it is not even so much the genetic and inheritance predisposition, rather the environment plays such a crucial role. That's why we can raise a socialist, or a Republican or Democrat or peaceful or a warlike. So the child becomes its environment. And the most moldable because of their absorbent mind during those early years, 0 to 6. That is why it is so crucial to be there present for their child, just to make sure that they become who you want them to become. Because if they absorb everything, good and bad. So that's why it's so important to filter what goes into their little brains, because that's who they will become.
I love that. And so did your parents instill that in you, or you just that was that just inherent of what's going on inside of you?
I think in my heart, in my soul, was meant to be a teacher, because I would always play school with my dolls. And my grandmother was a teacher and my mother was a teacher, but I thought I will be an attorney because I love to argue. So, but I would line up my dolls and we would play school. And I would be so rigid, like get up at 9 a.m., would play school till like 3 p.m. And then my sister was born. And oh my God, how was I excited that now I could teach her instead of the dolls. Was she happy? Not really, but whatever. She had to sit there anyway. So thinking back, I think I always had this subliminal intention to teach and serve. And it's interesting how it pivoted from, thinking I would change the world by slaying it in a courtroom, to realizing that to change the world, you don't start with changing politics and policies. You start at home and you start with your child. Because if you want to have peaceful, compassionate, innovative, creative thinking adults, you have to start with raising peaceful, innovative, creative thinking children, because a child will grow up to be that who they are instilled to be early on. So that's why this period is so, so important. It's the most pivotal, transformative period of person's time. And it's so fleeting. Goodness, it's so short. It goes way too fast.
Your children now are what age?
They're 11 and 15. So I homeschooled them both till they were 7. So at 7, they enter in a second plane of development where we call them social explorers. That's when socialization is very important. And I felt it was important for them to start incorporating into the social setting of the school setting. They both attended a Montessori school, but up to that period, I homeschooled them 100%. So
That is amazing. So let's go back to your early ages and now, because they're teenagers and you owning a business, and you've owned this business for some time now, and you actually homeschooled. And, do you mind sharing how you actually balance the demands of everything, the home, the business, and doing activities with your children as a homeschool mom?
you have to be extremely clear what it is that you want from each day. And it's better to have that clarity the night before rather than, waking up and having cereal all over the floor and reheating your coffee for the 4th time. And so setting very clear to-do list the night before and have 3 most important things that have to be done. And then time blocking. I am very big into structure and schedule. So time blocking, you say, hey, during this time, we're going to homeschool. And generally, the beauty of homeschooling, that what you can do with your child for 30 minutes with undivided one-on-one attention is equivalent to what they will learn during maybe 6 hours in a school setting, because we have distraction. Just because the teacher is speaking does not mean they're listening. So you can really utilize that time so effectively that you don't need to homeschool for 3 hours a day. Even half an hour can be sufficient. But we had a time block of like 9 till 12. That's when I would give them 100%. And after that, we would naturally transition to either a sensory play or a walk or a quiet time. And that's when I could focus on my other priorities, like running a business, running my blog, posting on social media. So having clear vision of what you want your day to be and having a schedule, because you can't just wake up and wing it. It's just, not having a plan is not a plan. So, and then eventually they started school, and that's when I was able to serve my community 100%. And I realized that I had to simplify and create systems for note-taking, for organizing the materials, for organizing the curriculum. So I'm big on systems, and I feel that we can simplify the process and get bigger results. We can amplify the end goal by eliminating the clutter. So you have to be extremely disciplined not to get distracted. So for example, to me, there is no social media till noon. So I'm very clear about the 3 C's. So in the morning, it's create. You can consume in the afternoon, and then by the night you clear. So having those blocks of time that are non-negotiable, because it is so easy to drown in this virtual noise of information and things that you don't really need to consume, right at this moment. So I think having that discipline, and it did come from, going to law school. I had to leave the house to avoid the traffic at 4:15 a.m. So I had to avoid the George Washington traffic. And I would be in law school by 6 a.m. I would be like one of the first, because I just refused to sit in traffic.
I used to do that too. Wherever I would go super early, and I would find something to do while I was there.
Yes.
And I used that time wisely. So, oh my God, thank
So
you.
yeah, the systems, the discipline, it carried over. So law school was amazing, but homeschooling my kids was one of the best decisions I had ever made. And seeing how it pivoted and grew and evolved into me serving others and inspire them to homeschool and literally changing their lives. Like I get DMs and testimonials every single day, how they say, oh my God, I have so much confidence and clarity and ease in our homeschooling day. I mean, my 4-year-old is reading and my 5-year-old is doing division, so they see real tangible results. And you don't need to turn your home into a classroom. You don't need expensive didactic materials. You don't need a fancy curriculum. You just need to be present, because that's what they need. They need your presence, they need your confidence, they need your calm, and children are learning and absorbing more than we can ever imagine.
Oh, especially now. I mean, I think when they're one, they can take a phone and do whatever you need them to do and get it done for you.
No, that is absolutely true. And now with all this advanced brain technology, they're able to measure brain activity in infants, and they're coming out with some absolute like extraordinary findings on, let's say, 6-month-old abilities. Like Dr. Call research, she's in neurosciences. They said that a 6-month-old can learn and digest absolutely any foreign language. Like you can introduce a 6-month-old to, let's say, 5 different languages. That way, doing an experiment with the Japanese, and they are able to decipher and not enunciate, but almost like put into folders all those sounds without any confusion. But it was one key: it had to be a human interaction, because I thought baby Einstein would teach my kid French, but because it was a TV or tape, it did not work.
So, but the thing is that if you knew what dog was and you said dog in those 5 different languages to that 6-month-old, oh my God, they
Yes.
would come out speaking fluent in 5 different languages.
And actually, I'll share a little story. So when my daughter was born, I spoke to her Russian exclusively. And just because I did not have like a particular reason. It just came naturally. And then we stopped because my husband was getting more involved, and he's an American, and he felt like he wanted to know what I was talking about. And then it kind of dwindled down. And now she's 15. She can understand anything in the Russian language, not speaking, not hearing it, from 6-month-old till the age of 15. And we'll almost like do a test. She's like, Ma, test me, tell me something. And she's able to translate. It is phenomenal. So in those first 6 months, she was able to encode to memory a foreign language that she have not heard since. And then years later, recall it and being able to translate. She cannot speak eloquently because there were no practice, but that was phenomenal. And I did not do it to my son, and he's very upset with me. He's like, Mom, why didn't you do it to me? Because he cannot understand. It's much harder for him. So that was a proven test that
I bet if she practiced, she'd be able to speak it.
Yes, she does now. They all practice, but every year that goes by, it is harder and harder. So the point is, it's effortless for little ones. Literally, like whatever you pour, they're going to absorb. And we call it without conscious effort. That's why they call it the absorbent mind. They're absorbing everything. That's why you can see like a 6-month-old and they have like phonics flashcards and they're teaching them sounds, because just because they're not enunciating or speaking does not mean they're not absorbing what we're presenting to them. So I think the potential of the human baby brain is so unfathomably vast, and we still know so little, but hopefully with more sophisticated equipment, we will be able to determine how really genius they are. So
Oh my God. Just think that if you could just do that on, I mean, if people would just take advantage of that and have the awareness to know how intelligent will these children be?
my God. And let's talk about creativity. I actually had a podcast on NASA test. So Dr. Land and Dr. Jarman, they were commissioned by NASA when NASA was trying to develop a test to measure creativity level of their engineers. But then they decided, why not test children? So they gathered 1,600 of children ages 4 to 6, and they presented them with that creativity test. And 98% of those children scored at genius level. They were so impressed that they said, you know what? We're going to keep testing the same group of children, it was 1,600 of them, as the time goes on. And they did. And as children got older, their level of creativity started dropping and dropping and dropping. And by the time they were 18, I think the level was like a 2%. So they say, what is happening to our creativity? That children are born creative geniuses, but something smothers that creative spark as they grow older. So it's a fascinating study.
Wow.
That's
I
how
love
they turn, a cardboard box into a spaceship and think that spaghetti noodles are some superhero forms.
I love your passion for this. I mean, I really love it. You can just hear the passion inside of you oozing out about how you molding a child into something from 0 to 6 and what it can actually do.
Yeah, that's absolutely amazing. We just need to harness that energy, that limitless potential that every single child is born with. So my mission is to have every parent here, hey, you have a genius in your hand. You just need to tap into that potential, set up the environment that is conducive to learning and that is sufficiently stimulating to allow their children grow to their fullest potential. And the thing is, we don't even know where that upper limit is. We're just, tapping here and there, but the period is truly golden. So I'm excited to see and keep an eye on more research as it comes in terms of kids' genius capabilities.
Wow. And you talk about this on your podcast
Yes,
too.
I
Right?
do. Yes, I have an episode on almost everything we had covered here today.
That is
Yes.
amazing. That is amazing. I know we're rapid firing. This is awesome. So, what advice would you have for a woman who's trying to grow their business? I mean, you built a business homeschooling, um, you know, being the super mom that you are, built a wonderful large business. Tell me, what advice would you give to somebody?
I would look into her eyes and say, hey, you are the driver of the car that is called life, and no one else gets to take the wheel. And don't wait for somebody to hand you the keys or to show up with answers on a silver platter. And it is your job to create the life that you want. And you have to take ownership because you know what? You don't need permission. And I would also tell her to start sooner and start messy. Because the truth is, anything at first is usually bad. And it's totally okay because perfection is not a goal, momentum is.
Mhm.
And the only way to do something well, it is to start it badly at first. And also to speak up sooner, take up the space, and trust that your inner voice matters, even if it's, shaky at first. And be willing to mess up and take risk and know that growth does not happen when you're comfortable. So you have to step out of the comfort zone and step into what's possible.
Yeah, and I think that's the same advice you give to your moms in homeschool too, huh?
Yes.
So, okay, what you've learned in business so far, what advice or tip would you go back and tell your 18-year-old self?
I would tell her that you're not behind and you're not too much. Just to trust yourself. And I would also tell her that you cannot think your way into your purpose.
Mm.
You have to live your way into it. So it's not enough dreaming. You have to be crystal clear what it is that you want. Why do you want it? Because the purpose is your fuel. It's gonna push you forward, and the purpose has to be emotionally enough that it's like a burning desire. Like I want it. I taste it. I smell it. Like I want it so bad. So that why can be your guiding star, and then create a massive action plan. So you must have a plan and little change every single day, because consistency compounds. So you have to take consistent steps every single day towards your goal. And they can be little steps. You don't need to, start big. 1% shift. Just do something different today. How are you different today from your yesterday's self? Are you more efficient? Are you staying more focused? Also, habit stacking. Nobody likes a drastic change. That's why diets don't work, because it's too drastic. So, by stacking a habit, meaning tying a new habit to your existing one, will guarantee that those habits will stick and eventually evolve into a consistent routine. So, yeah, be consistent, keep on going, and know that you can have anything you want. And don't wait to be chosen.
Oh, oh,
Choose yourself and speak loud and clear, and not to be afraid to be heard.
those are such wise little nuggets you're giving out there. I love it. All right. What is a key strategy maybe that you've done that worked in building your business that other people maybe said, oh, no, that's not going to work. Don't do that. But it worked.
I think staying on top and making personal growth part of my business journey, it's non-negotiable. So I lock in at least an hour a day for personal growth, whether it's learning AI or taking a masterclass on mindset shifts. It's something I take very seriously. And so you cannot grow your business without growing yourself. And this is a journey, and there's no graduation. You graduate when you're dead. So to me, learning is this beautiful journey, and you just have to commit and know that in order to evolve and progress, you have to make, again, consistent steps and make it a priority. And I also realized that success isn't about doing more. So it's about doing what matters and do it well, and delegate. You have to look at the opportunity cost on what you spend your time doing and delegate. And now that we can outsource, and with this amazing global community, you can delegate little tasks, and they're going to free up time that you can do what matters most and do it well. So pick one thing that matters, master it, be the best at it than anybody else, and delegate all the nonsense, all the noise that distracts you.
Oh, wow. Delegation is key. And as women, sometimes we want to hold on so tight.
We want to do it all because we think we can do it better.
The song I Am Woman. Remember that song way back when? So can you share any future plans that you have that we should keep an eye out for?
Oh, yes, I am so extremely excited about the Anya Garcia show. It is officially here, and this podcast is my heart project. That's where I share everything from the mindset shifts to Montessori magic, to real life moments, how to navigate real life chaos, and no fluff, no guilt, just tools, truth, and hopefully transformation.
Oh,
And beyond the mic, my biggest focus right now is growing and building my amazing, incredible community of AM captains, which are part of Montessori monthly kids activities plan. Those are moms who steer their playful days with purpose. And we're turning routines into rhythm and ordinary moments into learning magic. And my vision is simple, to make it easy for moms to homeschool with joy and to feel wildly supported doing it. So
it sounds like fun. It sounds like fun too.
It's definitely an amazing journey to be able to support and uplift and hold the hand of so many amazing families, and above all, to see how these little transformations can lead to such huge transformative impact of how little ones are growing and showing up and evolving. Eventually, it is all about them, the gift we give them.
Oh, I love it. So on the fun side, let's talk about this. If you had a superpower, just a superpower for one day, 24 hours only, what would it be?
I would slow down time,
Ooh.
and not to fold like another pile of laundry or to have my coffee hot, which is nice to have, but to be able to reach and serve more women, to be able to reply to every single DM, to hold hand of every single one who feels overwhelmed or burned out, to be able to have no pressure of time to create resources and guides to help them move from overwhelm to confidence, from chaos to clarity. That would have been amazing.
All right. Fun fact about you that not a lot of people know about.
Well, you do already know that I became an attorney, survived law school, and learned how to navigate New York City subway without a map.
Oh,
And
wow. Now
yeah,
that's like a
4 o'clock
miracle.
in the morning. And the fact that the decision to step away from my legal career, it was not that easy. And the transition was not all, rainbows and butterflies, because I was carrying a massive student loan and, having a newborn, sleep deprived, overwhelmed, advice pouring from everywhere, whether I asked it or not. So that definitely wasn't a smooth sailing. But I believe that growth does not happen in a comfort zone. So we have to stop being comfortable for a second so we can step into growth. So I believe that that path had opened an opportunity for me to now be able to serve so many amazing families and have a global impact where we can amplify the word about the early years and speak loud and clear about its pivotal transformative force. Talk about the limitless potential of the absorbent mind and bring this clarity and importance to early years, which most often goes overlooked.
Yep. I love your passion. Oh my God. It just oozes out of you by so much. What about a favorite book?
My favorite book is easy, The Absorbent Mind by Dr. Maria Montessori. It completely reframed how I see children. So it taught me that children, they're not blank slates to fill, but rather living sponges. Or I like the analogy of a living crystal, how crystal grows into something unique and beautiful each time based on its environment, and how amazingly they absorb what's around them. And so my goal is to create that peaceful, conducive, supportive, prepared environment where children are not stressed out, where there is a rhythm, where we can eliminate the terrible twos, because that's just a desire for order. And the distress comes from lack of structure or lack of a routine. And the idea that if we want, peaceful, compassionate adults, we have to start with children, and that we have that power. We're like these superhuman with these amazing powers that we can literally set up this conducive environment and have our children thrive. Like, think of it. Would you put a household plant in a closet? Of course not, right? Because we know the plant needs air, water, light, the right temperature to survive. But we so often unintentionally shove our kids in a closet in a dark without watering them, and we expect them to thrive. And it's not because we of course we don't do it intentionally. We just don't know any better. So I'm here to make it loud and clear that these years matter. They don't just matter. They're the most important, transformative, pivotal period of a person's entire life. And if you do it right, once is enough. And that time goes fast.
I mean, hello, 6 months, you can teach 5 languages. I mean,
Yes, right?
all right. What about a favorite song?
Oh, that's a tough one. But if I had to choose, I would go with Unstoppable by Sia. I definitely don't need batteries to run, because, as they say, you gotta love what you do or change what you do to love it. So it's like, and I love what I do. So I'm one of those lucky ducks.
What about a favorite quote?
I think in this onset of materialistic attachment and this race for things, whether it's, look at the iPhones every year, they updating, like, how many more, like, it's good. I'm good with my 11. That do not raise a child to have more than you had, but raise them to be more than you were. Raise them to be more compassionate, more empathetic, more successful in how they can impact the world. Can they end one of the world's, biggest world hunger? We talk about how many billions of people live without proper sanitation, that a child dies every 10 seconds from starvation. So I think if we can have them grow and evolve to be more than we were, we did an amazing job as a parent.
How do you stay motivated?
Remembering why I started this and the end goal and the purpose behind this. Seeing little faces light up when I go into our private Facebook community group, and seeing moms sharing their wins and saying, oh my God, that literally transformed how we live our day, how we teach, how I show up. I'm more confident. I feel more connected. And my child is thriving. And the best thing I can hear is to say, my child is having so much fun, they're not even realizing that they're learning. And that's the beauty of a play-based learning. It's a hands-on exploration. It's not about drills and tests and this, rote memorization that literally goes in one ear and comes out of the other. It's about rational learning. It's about hands-on. It's about experiential learning by doing. When you literally roll up your sleeves and you dig in, whether it's a science experiment and it can be as simple as freezing little flowers in your ice cube tray and then presenting it on a tray with a dropper and warm water and salt. And here you have a STEM education science experiment. And kids are fascinated just to see the melting process. And this simple activity that requires zero purchasing decisions, like I'm sure we all have an ice tray, can offer an hour of concentrated and happy play. And as Dr. Maria Montessori said, a child who is concentrated is immensely happy. And with this current onset, with so much technology and fast pace, I think developing this concentration and an abilities to sustain attention for longer periods of time, to try to eliminate the screen time and connect our children to nature, to set up sensory invitations to play and explore, to have them utilize all their senses when they're learning, whether it's visual, tactile. That's how they learn best, because that's how we have evolved. When you look back at hunter-gatherers, how did they learn? They did not drop their kids off to some hunter-gatherer school, say, hey, okay, go, and I'll pick you up at 3:00. No, they learned alongside their parents, their tribe leaders. They learned how to hunt, how to gather, to see which berries were safe to eat. We learned by observing, by mimicking, and by doing. They were not sitting in caves with textbooks, and they were definitely not taking tests. They learned by doing. And I think we have to honor our evolutionary process, because that's how we were wired to learn. So hands-on learning at its best. That's my core mission.
So I love your passion. Oh my God, it just exudes out of you. And I know our audience is going to want to stay connected with you. So what is the best way for them to stay connected with you?
Well, first of all, I would love to see you on my Instagram. You can slide into my DMs and tell me what was your biggest takeaway from this episode. You can find me at Montessori From the Heart. And also, if you would like to have a virtual, BFF coffee chat, I would love for you to connect and tune in to my Anya Garcia show on Apple, Spotify, whatever app you're tuning in, and also my YouTube show, same name, Anya Garcia show. So easy to find. I would love to see you there. Leave a review, leave a comment. I try to be very present, and I read every single one, because I know from what you tell me, I can learn how I can best serve you with what you currently need and where you currently are.
That's amazing. So what did you like to leave with our audience? Anything, any extra comments?
I would say, don't be afraid to start. And a lot of us, we have this all or nothing, or this perfectionist part of us, which is really an imposter syndrome in disguise. We feel stuck because we feel, no, I just need to read one more book, one more article, one more thing, one more whatever before I can do this, embrace this, start a business, write a book, start a show, record a podcast. Oh, I just need to learn one more thing. No, you have to start, because every single person you look up to, every leader, every role model, they started messy. They started scared. They started imperfect, because remember, you cannot get to your 100 episode without recording your first one. And your first one usually is going to be bad. And it's totally okay, because it is not about perfection. It is about progress. It is about showing up. It is about embracing the imperfect. And it is about taking that little consistent step every single day. And consistency compounds. And that's how you're going to get to where you need to go. So don't be afraid to show up. Start messy. Learn to be uncomfortable, because the growth does not happen in a comfort zone. And just speak loud and clear, be heard, take the space, and don't let for anybody to choose you. Choose yourself. You deserve it, and you can have anything you set your heart for too.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you so much for being with us. You are amazing. I love it.
Thank you so much. Mwah.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Female Entrepreneurs Magazine. I hope you found inspiration, actionable tips, and a sense of connection with our incredible community of driven women. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave a review, and share the episode with fellow entrepreneurs who are ready to elevate their game. Remember, your success is just the beginning, and we're here to support you in every step of the way. Until next time, keep shining, keep thriving, and remember, you have the power to create the business and life of your dreams. Stay inspired, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.